Итак, коллеги, всем добрый день.
So, dear colleagues, good morning. We continue our sessions of conferences with our companies. Today we have a wonderful opportunity to introduce our new guest star, Ukrainian producer of the household chemicals and cosmetic care, DeLaMark company. Perhaps many of you may know of this company. They buy it on the market. They know the ecological certificate which is passing by this company. And today we have our star guest, the owner of the company, Olexiy Verenikin. He will share his case with us. He will tell something about how the company passed its way. And as usual, in the frame of our session, we have an opportunity to answer your question, which you can write in the chat, and after the meeting we'll get the replies to your questions. Good morning. Hi everybody, guys. I will share without ties around table the format of our meeting. I will share our achievements. The DeLaMark company, we were organized in 2009, and our activity, we started from the selling of Japanese washing powder. From 2009, we were selling the different goods, and we happened to get a container of Japanese washing powder. We started selling it in the epicenter the trade chain, and the difference was drastic. Ordinary powder was 7, and this powder was 200 for 1 kilo. The price difference was drastic. And I learned about phosphate-free powders, and I started touring around and telling people what is phosphate-free washing powder means. And in 3 years, we started selling it with quite a good success, and we tried to make a contract with the Japanese side, but the delivery terms were quite long, and those contracts were with 100% prepaid, and the dollar rate was jumping. Investors were quite cautious, and that made us to take a decision. Why don't we try to start up our own production? With the we contacted the foreign producers who gave us the formula, and we started production in the territory of Ukraine. That was the start of the company DeLaMark. Today, DeLaMark are producing more than 120 kinds of products. These are conditioners, liquid washer, and the dish washers for kitchen, for bathroom, the cosmetic care. And our last product is toothpaste, which are of high demand. The production capacities are situated in the territory of Ukraine, Kiev. We are occupying 500 meters of square meters of the area. For production, we have reactors, we have packaging and production lines on these spaces. And in our activity, we use, so to say, sustainable development. We are using the minimum consumption of power supply, minimum consumption of water supply. We are trying to create a closed cycle of production. The raw material we buy abroad. Unfortunately, in Ukraine, we don't have a company who would supply to us a product which meets the international standards, because our products is being made according to the ecological standard, and it meets the specifications applied in 65 countries. This is a green planet. This is a trademark label of our company, and they could be sold in 65 countries that apply this ecological standard. Well, our products, all our washing powders are phosphate-free. Our formulas meet the specific ecological specifications of standards, European standards, and most of all important, that our consumers are happy and they send us very good returns in the feedback that we do not break out the ecological system, and it goes to the history of Ukraine. We are importing our products to several countries, to Poland, for example, to Bulgaria, and to Romania, in small batches till so far, but we have already started, and we are happy about that. Well, as I said, during production, we use only ingredients of foreign companies with the certified ecological certificates. We also have we pay quite much attention to packaging, which we use for our products. The packaging for liquid substances, we use the polyethylene of low pressure. The powders we pack in cardboard. The polyethylene is subject to recycling, and it could be used for a variety of products. And cardboard that we use are of ordinary brands, and it doesn't affect ecology. Only one thing I should mention, that the powder in this cardboard is packed in the film, which only subject to utilization, but not it couldn't be recycled, because today there is no material that we were able to find which could be recycled, and at the same time it would be capable to contain this powder in safe condition, I mean. Well, several years ago, we were trapped in just a surprising history. In the territory of Ukraine, there was a component found that if you add it to polyethylene, the polyethylene would be fully destroyable biologically. We tried it and we packed our powder in that film. In 3 months, all these film packages, plastic packages, were destroyed in our cardboards. So we called back thousands of our products. These cardboard and powder we had to utilize to dispose, because it was spoiled. Well, a new trend is wonderful, but we have to be careful when checking any new product. Today we are working on the packaging of washing powder. We are trying to find out the other ways to use more ecological friendly materials, but unfortunately today we failed to find any suitable material. Today we tried also to use the paper packaging, but it is water absorbing, and it is not very pleasant to have a product when it is found difficult to be used after being kept in these paper packages. So in 100%, as I said, we are using ecologically recyclable product, and all our products which we produce, they meet these specifications. So our most important motto is live eco, means live clean, and our production is subjected to this purpose. In our we also don't use any animal products in our production, and we don't have animal tests, and for our employees we also achieve only when we achieve with our employees, then we put it into production. For example, our toothpaste, we have been developing it 1 year and 2 months till we reached the result, which was for us successful. And really, we in a final result we received a very pleasant toothpaste, which doesn't contain any aggressive components. It is soft. It addresses all the tasks regarding the tooth cleaning. And on top of that, we paid attention to the packaging. We use the aluminum case and wooden cap. This wooden cap is used in Ukraine out of the wood crumbs. We have a special company who uses the raw material, which is a subject to recycling. The package where we put our paste is of recyclable cardboard. And we also use the Braille code. The Braille code is a um, code which is used for disabled people who have impaired eyes, and they, of course, can use our product as well. And we haven't met product in Ukraine, any other company who would use this Braille code in their products. We elaborated on that topic, and we have these codes, and should anybody have interest in it, we will be happy to share our experience. I'm deeply convinced that the company should sustain social initiatives, and those companies who do not follow this principle, they don't have the future. This is a principle sustained by the United Nations, and as far as possible, we try to adhere to these goals. 4 years ago, I encountered such a problem as how to utilize in a correct way the packaging, how we can make people to follow this principle of recycling. We didn't have that trend those times. I gave a lot of thinking of how we can find an instrument for our company to make people to sort out the packages. So we started a project which we call return empty containers, which has been successfully implemented throughout the country for the third year in a row. During this time, our customers have returned to us more than 10,000 plastic bottles of DeLaMark, which became a valuable source for manufacturing variable products and do not fall into the trash. Each packaging, I should mention, costs 5 hryvnias, and the driver would come and take out all the bottles which are returned by the customers. We have concluded an agreement with the Veolia company in Ukraine. This is a most huge of global logistic campaign who are transferring the garbage. We have confidence with them, so we are sure that the trash that they take, they are all recyclable. So as I said, during last year, more than 10,000 plastic bottles were returned, which were recycled. This year, we also be able to be a partner of another company who return the batteries, electric batteries, for recycling. And we cooperate with Romanian in this business, and it also facilitates to make our business more ecological. We're also trying to implement the green office principles wherever we are trying to introduce a closed cycle of production. By the end, I would like to show you a small cartoon. It is a very small one, but it discloses the principles of our way of production, which we try to realize in Ukraine for more than 10 years. Well, here we go. I've opened it on my screen. Starts. Well, it's on. on there. Well, the ecological friendly household chemicals and cosmetics, which doesn't impair the environment. We are making the formulas, developing the formulas of this produce. The ready-made products are subject to a rigorous quality control system. The power consumption is reduced. We almost do not need water for our ecological friendly products, and that means that we do not impair the environment. We also use for cleaning of our premises the DeLaMark product, and after it we dispose it in a special waste bins, and we have also special bags. We almost do not use the paper prints in our production. Our principle is we are for sustainable environmental protection. So this is a small video which shows the closed cycle of our enterprise. I would like also to mention that those actions which we undertake, we have a response from our customers and we develop confidence. And this year, our company won an award of all Ukrainian contest of small and medium business, and we hold the first place in this contest, and we were first among 4,500 of companies, and people recognized that our company was the leader, which is very pleasant for us. This year, we also won the contest of ecological competition. Our product is famous not only in the territory of Ukraine, but recently the bus competition took place, and we held the third place among the shampoo producers. There were tens of foreign countries, and 5 laboratories were involved for the product itself and packaging as well. And among those, the winners were chosen, which, from where we held the third place. And we really put much of efforts to get the quality of product, which will not only be equal to European, but even be superior to that. And quite several years in a row, we produce excellent result in achievement of this goal. And now our company expands greater because we are not only household chemicals, manufacturing household chemicals, but other products for ecological safe way of life. Now we have put into production the starch, the packaging, which is made of starch. You can put it in earth, and in 3 months, it will be completely destroyed. It will evaporate like a water in the earth and will leave no trace. Now we are developing a row of other products which falls into the category of eco food, which will appear on the shelves of our companies. So now we are transforming it to the company which follow the principle life eco means life clean, with purity in your head, with purity in your heart. And we are trying to be a bridge among people who like to enter into this world and to get them acquainted with the companies who are already on our side, and to get them acquainted with our products which we are producing and which we are going to offer to our network of retailers. Today we are introduced in all the regions of Ukraine. We are working with big retail companies, and every person in the territory of Ukraine could meet our product in the market or order from the internet shop with a free delivery to any corner of Ukraine. We will positively deliver our product. In principle, I have almost finished with my presentation. I would be happy to hear to the questions of our audience. Thank you, Olexiy, that you shared an exciting story of your company and your initiatives. I think that many companies who are participating in our session, they will make note of your information, because there are many companies who are just at the starting level, and there are many questions, because at the start point they used to make many mistakes, and if they listen to your advices, I think it will be very much useful for the business. Now we have one question. You mentioned the entering Eurozone. How much difficult the preparation was to enter the European market? Well, the preparation we started even before in 2014, and
Называли часто паспорта безопасности.
there was so-called MBS. Now they call it the security passports. How the procedure goes? From the beginning, I stemmed from the international understanding that if you enter some country, you should follow all the procedure. First, you have to register your product, which you're going to sell. The person who is responsible, who is the importer in Romania, for example, he will be the person
И он
who will be whose contact will be placed on the packing, and should any reclamation be found, they will apply to that person. They will write to that person. Last year, there was a company to whom we prepared these safety passports. They have it in the certificate, so to say. They came to the laboratory with these passports. They were checked for some criteria internal for Romania, and they have registered, and they issued the numbers to us. They call it, seems to me, if I'm wrong, CNP, CPNC numbers. They issued to us these numbers. If you have these numbers, you are free to sell it in Romania. If you're going to sell it in any other European country, in principle, these documents could be used, because these are in one electronic base, but it is ultimately that you have to place contact of this person. The other problem in Romania that we encountered, they started selling it at the ecological marketplace, and after that they were going to sell it into the trade market. But after the pandemic limitations were introduced, we have hampered our preparation was hampered. The person was ill who was our contact person, and now they are buying it for their platform, but they do not have now the contact with the general market. The other countries, in Poland, it is a similar situation. For Bulgaria, there is a big chain market, and they approached to us with the request. So now we are preparing the bureaucratic formalities with that company. The other problem we face, that much of brands which are being sold in the territory of Europe, they are much cheaper in comparison to those which are sold in Ukraine. Probably it is connected to the fact that they're buying foreign raw material. That, for example, in Poland, should you buy this raw material, it will be 40% cheaper. This is why it will be wrong if our product in Poland will be cheaper than that of the market of Ukraine. So we are pursuing the purpose to make a balance between it. But if you compare with prices, as I told you, it is not competitive, because the raw material is cheaper, or from from the beginning, the distributor who is importing these raw materials in Ukraine, they will make a margin on top of the price, and this is a problem that we are facing. And it is also important that we must have 100% ecological friendly certificate, and the most important that the language, we need the language on the logo, on the label, the language to be used of the country where you are selling it, because people, if they don't understand the language of the logo and they don't think that your product is better, I don't know why it happened. Maybe there are other competitors who made this story to happen. So it's most important also to find a qualitative partner in the foreign market who will sell your product, because if you are not operating on that market, you must have a good partner. Second, a marketing plan on the promotion of your product. And the company, partner company, without the good marketing, they will not achieve success. Third, the language of country to be used of the country where you are selling it. The number 4 point, you have to select the ingredients before making a contract. You should select the ingredient appropriate to that particular country. These are 4 main life hacks who could help you in your business. Thank you, Alexei. Now we switch for the second question. You have told that for imported raw material, you must have the certificate, appropriate certificates. Please mention the number. Tell us the number. Well, for numbers, every ingredient enters our market. You can request the OSMOS certificate for this ingredient. We request our raw suppliers to mention by Kim company. They off without they give it to us without any problem for the raw material which we buy from the domestic chemicals and the cosmetic care. Yes, we are pleased to produce the certificate even for allergic components for shower gels. It was one of the serious obstacles, but for Ukraine, they produce these certificates with no problem. We faced with this difficulty when we were buying some materials in the territory of Ukraine for a list of allergic components. It was difficult to obtain these certificates, and that is why we refused buying it in Ukraine, and we started buying it from the exporters from other countries, because they're using, probably it could be possible also to use some raw material in Ukraine. They are not inferior, but it needs some time. The Braille's, the question of the Braille's code, Ukrainian and English. If I'm correct, we have done rebranding, absolute rebranding, and all our packaging is produced in 2 languages, Ukrainian and English. We don't have Russian language. And the third, the old packages contain some Russian inscriptions, but now, as I am analyzing the analysis from Google, 50% of people are reading in Russian, 50% are reading in Ukrainian. So I think for sell, it's better to have both languages. And for Ukrainian market, we need, it's enough to have only 2, Ukrainian and English. Which Ukrainian laboratory confirmed the correspondence for the packaging, for non-compost packaging certificate? We are buying from Austrian company granules, which we use for packaging. It could be used both in from compost. It depends on how many of this product you use, how much quantity do you use for this product. It seems to me that if it is above 12, it means industrial compost, and you need the machine treatment with high temperature. So first, before buying, we are studying the certificates, and then we are making tests by putting this packaging for 3 months period on the earth, and then we are testing what comes out of that experiment. And only after that we started selling them. Now behind my back there is a package where we put our washing powder, and we are testing it for how much time it will sustain to keeping the washing powder. It's already for 8 months. If it will live for 2 months more, I will start a short series line of our products where I will use this package. On compost, it's quite difficult to select a temperature range which is appropriate for that package, and I think that it will be a semi-automatic labor to be used for packaging our product in this type of packages. Well, we do not have the laboratories. Well, we are using Austrian material. I replied already on this question, to this question. Thank you, Alexei. I think that we'll have a number of questions yet to come. Well, there is comment that it's excellent that we have such a responsible producer, and thank you for sharing your experience. Thank all the audience, thank all of you who have been with us for this hour, and I hope we continue contacts in the chat. We are open for sharing our experience. Whatever you need, please don't hesitate to put your questions in the chat, and we will be more than happy to reply. And we are not afraid of competitors, but we are enjoyed to have our friends and partners with whom we are working together. Thank you, Alexei. Have a nice day. That's all, folks. Goodbye.